Hey, this is Abe.
And this is Alexa.
Welcome back to the Get Out and Enjoy Life podcast, or GOEL.
Today we're talking about all things food.
So, here in Tacoma, a restaurant called Sumo just opened up, and it's actually a soft opening.
Yeah, which we didn't really know what that meant, but it basically means they're not doing any marketing
Or promoting.
like promotion for this specific place. It's all word of mouth.
Yeah, and which is like amazing because this restaurant was packed. They get into a little bit of what the restaurant is. It's, again, named Sumo, and it's a sushi bar, but not like that rotating, old-style conveyor belt sushi.
Right. And I've actually never been to even one of those conveyor belt places, so I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, growing up, I had never been to one either. I always wanted to go to one, but they were so pricey because it was like $7 for a little piece of sushi that you pulled off the conveyor, and you end up eating, I don't know, at least 10 of those. That's like $70, and so I'd always wanted to go to one, never been to one. But this one is like in the modern age. It has so you walk in and there's like a little entrance where it's like a anti-room type of thing, and then you walk through and
it kind of has a bar. Right when you walk in.
Right when you walk in. Yeah, and then there's the two, I don't know what the hostesses they'd be called, right?
Yeah.
And they go in and see you, and they're these like green cushioned booths and then there's like
kind of like a sage green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they kind of look like old style, but it's all very new looking or fresh. And then on the table there's a QR code, and it says like B3 or D3.
It'll have your table letter and number.
Yeah, so they then tell you to go ahead and scan the QR code with your phone. And actually, when we went the first time, you forgot your phone.
Yeah, I did, which really sucked because I had to wait to kind of look at the menu. Or actually, I came over and sat over with you. But it's basically this huge menu. They have all these different sushi rolls, even some recommended ones that they create solely at that restaurant. And they also have appetizers. They have spring rolls. What else did they have? They had
fried sushi, which I had never seen before.
Yeah, they had yakisoba. So if you didn't want sushi, they had alternatives. They have miso soup.
You could just get like a bowl of rice.
Yep. There's a lot of options. Seaweed salad.
They had a sushi that was mango sushi, and that was...
It was okay.
I probably won't get it again, but it was neat.
Yeah.
It had mango cut over the top of it. I forget what was in it, though.
I want to say there was crab meat in it or something that. But anyway, so you get to see this huge menu. They don't have desserts at all. It's all sushi. And what you do is everything says $0 because it's $30 a person to eat as much as you want, literally. So you hit that plus button on every single thing you want, how many you want, and then you submit the order. You can even write a little note, and I think it goes back to the sushi chefs, maybe.
And you can see them all. It's an open kitchen where there's like 3 or 4 people making sushi behind there.
Yeah.
But then the real surprise is how you get your sushi served.
So anyways, once you hit that submit button, you wait a little bit. And what was really cool about this place is that you're served the sushi by robots, these little cat robots. They're super cute. I think they're called Bella Bots.
Yeah.
And they just come on over, and they have multiple layers of trays, on the actual robot. And so it'll light up blue or whatever color. And whatever tray lights up, that's your sushi. So it would deliver to multiple tables. And then it would have a cute little cat face that came up on the screen. And on the back of the robot, it would say, enjoy your food. Or they even had
As it was driving away.
Right. And at one point, somebody had a birthday while we were there. And it basically sang happy birthday and had a little song.
And they brought out, a pink drink of some sort.
Right. And it said happy birthday behind the cat, basically, as it was.
And these robots, they're probably 4 feet tall, maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet wide. They almost kind of look like, if you look at the base of them, they kind of look like Amazon's robots, I thought, a little bit. Because they're kind of the way they're shaped and stuff.
I don't know if I know what Amazon's robots.
They're kind of like these, like almost like.
Or is it Microsoft's robots?
No, it's Amazon. I think it's Amazon because they're like kind of like squares, and they will get underneath pallets and things and lift up these stacks of pallets and things, and that's how they get things moved around.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think Amazon actually bought this company specifically for it. But yeah, so the BellaBots, they're super neat. I think there's about 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
And then there are some waiters and waitresses. They come around and
they bring water. They ask you if you need anything. They pick up the dishes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they deliver you the sushi, especially if it's busy in there and the robots can't keep up. There also were times where the robots would just kind of be back there, and I assumed, like back in the kitchen area,
charging.
I was assuming they were charging or something, or they were waiting for orders to come up.
Yeah, so like Alexa said, it's a all-you-can-eat, so a buffet type style restaurant for only $30, which is
amazing,
really cheap for sushi.
Yeah,
and then really cheap on the cheaper end for a higher, maybe, I don't know if high-end place is a word,
some high-end sushi places that I've been to, it's like you get 2 rolls and that feels like $30, right? Like,
and so it's like going out to eat generally nowadays.
But it was nice because it was super informal. It was really chill. All kinds of people in there, kids in there. It's good for families. One thing I did want to mention is that we did see a table where I swear they ordered every single thing off the menu.
Just because you can like click
everything.
And it takes time for the sushi to arrive. It's not instantaneous, right? Because they have to make it.
And there's multiple orders coming from multiple tables.
There was one instance, I think, where some of ours didn't show up.
Yeah.
Or like...
but most things too, did. It was like 2 things that didn't show up.
Or like it takes 45 minutes sometimes for one of the dishes to show up, but the rest of yours show up. So sometimes you'd forget about like what you ordered, and you're like, I'm getting full, and you're like, oh no, please.
Like the robots coming towards your table, and you're like, oh no, like what did I forget that I got?
And you're like, please don't stop at my table. I can't eat anymore because you don't want to be embarrassed. And then, but then it's kind of weird because like in the beginning when you first get there, you're like, come on, robot.
And you're so hungry that you're just like, I just want everything. But you really kind of have to pace yourself because those people who did, I swear, order everything, every time that robot would come by, they'd be like, oh no, what did we get? They're like, one of the guys was like, he was just clicking over there. I thought he was texting. He was getting more sushi. And they just had, I swear, plates stacked on their table with food. Just a lot of food sitting on it.
It's embarrassing because...
they couldn't keep up.
No.
Yeah.
So it's a great experience. I think as they get the process ironed out a little bit more, it'll become even more fluid, but it's a soft opening. So that's the whole point.
And I guess they do have other restaurants in the area. This is just the first all-you-can-eat sushi place.
Yeah.
So
it was so good.
It's like they're doing a test run.
It was so good. We ended up going 2 days in a row. I wanted to go a third, but Alexa stopped me.
I feel like when we go out to restaurants, Abe and I personally, and we try to go a couple days in a row, it's usually on that 3rd day that something goes awry. Like there's a hair in the food or something.
Which has happened. We went to another place in Tacoma. It was amazing. And then that 3rd day, you get like a long piece of hair in the food, and you're like, oh no.
Or something weird happens, or you don't get your stuff. Like, it just ruins the whole thing. I feel like it's really special to just go to a place every once in a while and, like, kind of alternate. We are foodies. We love eating out. We love, like, the ambiance. We love people watching. And so, I don't know. It's nice to alternate what we do.
Yeah. So, talking about some of the other places in Tacoma that we've eaten out at, there's a place in... I think it would be considered downtown Tacoma, right?
Are you talking about our Thai place?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's considered, I guess.
Downtown Tacoma. There's this Thai restaurant that we ended up finding probably about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's moderately priced food. I think a dish is like anywhere from about $12 or so.
Yeah, which I think is about the price you usually see for that kind of place. But it's really good. It's very homey feeling, colorful.
The wall, there's a mural on the wall when you walk in, and it's, I think, some like Thai people in some boats. Yeah. It almost kind of looks like a market type.
Yeah.
Like mural.
Yeah. But what's your favorite food dish to get there?
I don't know. I always go between like a curry, like a green curry, but then also the noodles are always amazing.
Yeah, I'm a person who loves pad see ew. I swear I will get it at every Thai place. You do. Sometimes I get a curry, but their pad see ew is really good. Love the chewy rice noodles and the egg and broccoli and everything. It's just delicious.
Yeah, sometimes we'll get it out like takeaway. I think part of it, what makes it feel really homey in there is because it's a pretty small restaurant. Yeah. It's like kind of like a long restaurant where you have the mural running on one wall and then some booths and some tables on the other side. And it's probably only like, I don't know, 10 to 15 feet across.
Yeah, it's not super big, but it always has space.
There is,
We've never had to really wait to get in. No.
Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for a restaurant.
Well, I mean, every time we're there are people there, whether they're sitting at the bar or in the booths at all. I mean, at all times, I feel like there's people coming in and out.
Yeah. So that's one of our places. We really do like the Thai food. There's another place that we a lot of times get like fried rice from.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember that place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super good.
It's got a bar on the top, which we haven't ever been up to. But then downstairs, where we usually get fried rice, and they had the sriracha sauce there for a while. I don't think they do anymore.
We found it's very hard to find the original sriracha sauce.
Yeah.
And we happened to find it on our last trip that we just went on to Cannon Beach.
Yeah, which we talked about in our previous episode.
Yeah.
So, what are your favorite places to eat at in Tacoma?
I do like the Vietnamese place, and I'm going to say the name of what it is. It's called La Ca Bar.
Yeah.
It's near 6th Ave, if you're familiar with Tacoma. And the Thai place is called Thai Pepper. I want to give them a shout out because they are really good, and I do recommend them. One place with really good gelato that you'd never probably expect. It is a Thai place that is in Tacoma, and it's called Indochine. It's been there for a really long time, but I never knew they had gelato. And Abe and I go there maybe once a year or something. It's just as a celebratory thing, and they have amazing coconut gelato. Yeah, so good.
And we got it to go once, I think, and just brought it home. It's so good. And you like the pistachio gelato from there as well.
Yeah, I love pistachio.
It's a neat restaurant, the Indochine restaurant, just because
the ambiance
is
very nice.
Yeah, it's got like, I think it has like basically like a pond and like a little waterfall type thing. Yeah. It's almost got like a gazebo in there with pillows.
Yeah, and you can sit on the floor.
Yeah, which we haven't ever done, but it's a special place for us because that's where we had our
second date.
Really first date, because our first date was
at a coffee shop.
So it was our first formal date.
Yeah. And so it holds a special place in our hearts, and I think every year we've probably gone back around the time of our anniversary and gotten gelato just as a little celebratory thing.
The other place that I like eating at is Cheesecake Factory, which, I mean, I know it's a chain, but during the pandemic, it had its ups and downs, probably like a lot of the restaurants. Yeah. But one of the cool things about Cheesecake Factory is, like, you can order pretty much anything from there. But during the pandemic, they were out of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it was like we would come. One time, I think they were out of pasta. Right. And that's like, there's a lot of pasta on there.
Right. And then
weren't they out of one of the breads?
Yeah, they were out of bread. I think it was
the brown bread.
Yeah, the brown bread.
Out of the brown bread, which is why you come to Cheesecake Factory, right?
For the free bread, or I don't know if it's free.
No, the brown bread specifically.
Oh yes, the sweet bread.
Yes,
because the other bread is just drier.
Yeah.
And bland, but Yeah, and then the cheesecake, right?
Yeah, and of course the cheesecake.
Oh man, I think we had my favorite dish from there. I think is Evelyn's pasta.
Oh yeah,
which we had one of the first times we went there together, and it's named after one of the I think it
was like one of the managers or something
like
that
something
was
like that.
their favorite or named after them. Or
right.
Something like
We've
that.
tried to get it a couple of times before, like after going, and it's been out every single time. So maybe we'll try it again here coming up.
Yeah.
But
for pizza, we really like to go to Forelli's.
Oh yeah, Forelli's.
Yeah, we haven't been there in a long time, but it's local to the area, and
it's on Point Ruston, which it's nice to be down there.
It's more than just at Point Ruston.
No.
It is in different cities nearby too, but it's very just like relaxed. It's like if you were going to the Cheesecake Factory, like that same kind of like style, very chill. You can come however you want. And the pizza is always really good.
Talking about pizza, there's a place, is it Fire or The Rock, right?
The Rock, yeah.
The Rock.
Yeah.
They have really good pizza, but also you can get like a mountain of nachos from there, and it's I think like $15 or something like that, which it's a ton of nachos. It's like one person could not sit there and eat all that.
You can get them vegetarian,
and
because Abe and I don't really eat meat like that.
And also they came with olives, which I know you didn't care for.
I do not like olives.
So you can ask without olives too.
Yeah, but it has like beans and cheese and avocado and I don't even know what else. But
it's so good.
Delicious. We recommend it for sure.
And then we've tried traveling kind of outside of Tacoma for eating, of course. Up in Seattle, there's an ube place, which I think it's a Thai. Is it Thai?
It's I thought it was Vietnamese.
Oh, it's Vietnamese.
But it's called Coffeeholic House, I believe. And they do ube lattes, which are really good. You might have seen them on Instagram if you like anything ube, or like TikTok or something. There's a lot of Seattle foodie type people on social media, and that's actually where I saw it first.
Yeah, and we've gone up there, I think, like twice, just for that specifically.
Yeah, nothing else.
And it's a little bit of a drive, like 40-minute drive, just to go get a coffee.
Yeah.
But it was worth it.
You can't get anything like that. Or I haven't seen anything like that.
In Tacoma area.
Yeah. There's also, if you like boba, milk tea type things, Jade Lounge in Tacoma is super good. I get this Hello Kitty milk tea with boba. I think it has like rose milk or something in it.
Yeah,
it's like a rose milk tea. It is amazing.
And it tastes like, or smells like roses almost when you drink it.
I feel like
interesting.
Anything I've ever gotten there has just been delicious.
For boba, I don't know. Growing up, I never had the boba that was filled. It was like always like solid boba. Like, because they have like almost like a jelly boba where like
they do.
It has like
pop. It's like a popping jelly.
Yeah.
One.
Like I've always gotten the lilikoi or passion fruit ones, and like
but chewy.
Well, no, the ones that we got there, I think, were
popping?
and it has juice in them.
Yeah,
I'd never seen those before. They're probably very common, but
I haven't had those until recently.
Yeah,
I've only ever had the other boba, but super good. There's also, I think it's called Boba Lust. It's near the mall.
The Tacoma Mall.
Yeah, near the Tacoma Mall. And that's also very good. I feel like most boba places around here are.
Yeah. Recently we went up to Seattle, and we ended up going to a matcha place.
Yeah, it was Nana's Green Tea Green Tea Cafe.
Yeah.
Something like that. And they do a bunch of different matcha. I ended up getting something with red bean in it and boba. And you could get them hot or cold. Abe, I think, got just regular matcha, right?
No, I got a caramel matcha.
Oh.
It had like whipped cream and then caramel drizzle.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, is it brown sugar?
Brown sugar,
That's right,
yeah.
Brown sugar. Honestly, it was okay. I expected to get kind of more of a kick from the matcha, like kind of coffee. Maybe that's not what you normally get from matcha.
Yeah. They said it wasn't like Starbucks or anything like that. It was more, I don't know, it wasn't as sweet, but I agree with you. It didn't give me the caffeine boost I needed at the time. And I had no coffee that day.
No, and I drink like 2 cups of coffee a day, so.
But super cute environment. we didn't even try all of the matcha items that they had. So
Yeah.
I'd be curious to go back and try the desserts for sure.
That's the food in Tacoma. A lot of times we'll just go out to like the bazaars and the festivals
We love
they have
like
here.
food markets, farmers markets, those
And
kinds of
there's
things.
tons of food trucks and things like that. Oh, L&L is one of the other ones that we like going to.
So good.
They're fried fish with the rice. Oh my gosh. It's
with the mac salad.
Oh, yes, with the mac salad. It's so good. And then they have spam musubis,
Yes.
which we love spam. I mean, sort of. Like, we try not to eat meat, so I wish they would create like a vegetarian spam, which probably wouldn't taste the same. But
I mean, at home, I make these. I haven't made them in a while, but I make these tofu musubis that I think are pretty good. But yeah, I don't often see anything
surprised
like
no
that.
one makes like tofu musubis. Like,
I know.
I've never seen them before.
I feel like that would.
It's
be
always like chicken or hot dog or spam or those are really the only ones I've seen. Maybe fish. I've seen fish.
Oh, I haven't seen fish.
But yeah, no one's done tofu. It's hard to cook with tofu, I think, sometimes.
And get the flavor.
Right,
correct.
impart the flavor into it.
Yeah.
But you have a good recipe. What do you do to it?
I press the tofu. I will cut it in half. I make it the size of what like a spam musubi would be. And then I use, sriracha, soy sauce, garlic powder, and olive oil, which is like kind of random, but I think it helps everything stick and actually cook when you put it into the oven. So you do that, you mix that all together, you put the tofu in, and then you put cornstarch over the top, and then you shake it again to get that thick kind of coating around
like
the tofu.
Crust almost.
Yeah, it basically kind of creates a crust. And then you put it into the oven at I think I do it at 425. And you can cut it however you want. And basically that's how I cook the tofu for 30 minutes. And then with the rice that you use, it's good if you use sushi rice to do it. And then put a little rice vinegar in it. That's what gives it that extra oomph.
It's really good.
Yeah, and wrap in seaweed.
Sometimes you just don't make it into musubis. We just eat it
we'll
over
just
rice.
Eat it. Yeah, and it's good like that.
Yeah, tofu. It's taken us a while, I think, to get into knowing how to cook with it because it's really bland if you don't know how to.
Mm-hmm. Abe has recently made a tofu scramble, which is really good.
Yeah, and I kind of looked at a whole bunch of different recipes and then came up with my own. But basically, I just take a block of tofu, don't even press it or anything. I just drain it and then squash it up with my hands and throw, I don't know, maybe a quarter cup or probably a quarter cup of Italian breadcrumbs over it with a little bit of olive oil, some extra, seasoning of anything that you want.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's really good.
Yeah, and then
I feel like it'd be really good in a burrito.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a breakfast burrito. Because you don't see many tofu breakfast burritos.
No, you
either.
don't. Yeah, they're rare. And then I just throw it in a cast iron skillet and cook it with that. I feel like I'm missing something.
Are there any other seasonings you do to it?
Breadcrumbs, and then we have extra seasonings
garlic
for
powder.
Oh yeah, garlic powder. I put garlic powder, but it's really simple. That's really. Oh,
it is simple.
And I also put nutritional yeast into it.
Oh yeah, that's another way that we cook tofu too. Is we just put nutritional yeast basically.
It's so cheesy. I don't understand why it tastes cheesy, but it's so good. Yeah,
it's good.
But yeah, and then I just cook it in a cast iron skillet. Which, it's not great for the cast iron skillet just because it's a lot of water and you're cooking off the crust of the cast iron skillet. But like I said, we don't eat meat a lot, or we never buy meat, I should say, to cook at home. So cast iron skillet, it has a crust sometimes on it, like the seasoned coating. Sometimes it doesn't. You just put a little bit more oil on it and it's fine.
It's good to go.
But, so one of the things I'd like to learn how to cook is tempeh.
Oh yeah,
which
that
I know
feels like a challenge.
It's supposed to be so good for you, but I haven't been able to figure out how to cook with it.
I feel like it's also really hard to find something like a good dish where tempeh is done really well.
Yeah, we've been to a couple of restaurants that have done it really well, and you're like, I forget what they were, but
I feel like Whole Foods has a sandwich that we tried one time that maybe used tempeh
That would make
in
sense.
it, like some kind of vegetarian sandwich.
It's kind of also hard to just find tempeh in general.
Yeah.
Like, you can find tofu or extra firm tofu anywhere, I feel like. Safeway, Fred Meyer,
Right, it's everywhere.
near, big stores.
It's actually pretty inexpensive.
Yeah, it's like, what, $1.50 for a pack?
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
nowadays
if you know how to cook it, I mean, it's worth it.
It's a budget food for sure.
Yeah.
You just got to be able to know how to cook it. And it does take some time. It's not an instant food by any means.
Yeah. And we love to cook, so we're like, we experiment with all these different things until we find something that actually works for us.
Yeah. My mom's actually coming to visit, and she's really into bread recently in the last couple of years, really with sourdough bread. And she gave us a starter originally, and unfortunately it got moldy. But prior to it getting moldy, we made a lot of different types of, like, basically sourdough bread. And she said she's making tortillas out of sourdough,
awesome.
which I don't even know how that works. But she's going to have to explain it to us, and we're going to try sourdough again.
Yeah,
but
it's so nice when you could make your own things. Like, even Abe and I have a garden, and we've had a lot of tomatoes come out of that garden, and we'll cook different things and make bruschetta and, I don't know what else we do with it.
We also recently borrowed my sister's dehydrator that we actually bought for her for, like, her birthday or something. But
we don't have one.
So we ended up dehydrating a whole bunch of tomatoes, and we didn't put any seasoning on them or anything. And they're more like sour almost to me than I would have thought.
Yeah.
Kinda.
You've also made tomato soup.
Oh,
which
yeah.
was
You just take, like,
so good.
The whole tomato soup is just, you take like 3 or 4 tomatoes and just put them in a pot with a little olive oil. Don't even put water in there because there's so much water in the tomatoes themselves. And you can put a little garlic seasoning, and that's it, really.
Yeah.
And
there's so much you can do with it.
Right.
It's just so cool to be able to grow your own food and then use it.
Yeah, and you weren't even into gardening prior to me meeting you.
But this year, I just, like, took off with the garden. I have sunflowers that grew, 10 feet tall, probably. They just took off in the summer, and we're producing so much. I have a whole pumpkin patch, which I still need to go get more pumpkins out of. On our counter, we have 5 pumpkins sitting there. I need to start giving them away.
You were in the garden more than me this summer.
Yeah, I think the thing was with, some of the things that we were growing, whether it was the tomatoes or the pumpkin patch, everything needed to be, like, pruned, especially that pumpkin patch. It was taking over everything. So I was out there every other day working on it.
I want to try eating one of your pumpkins, actually.
Yeah.
Like, we could, I don't know, make soup out of it, or we could
something.
roast one of them. Even the seeds in them, I'm sure, are really good, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out something. I don't know. You had talked about wanting to make pumpkin pie from scratch with one of them.
I do want to make pumpkin pie.
But then you're like, I'm going to buy the crust. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you can make the crust.
People, I don't want to make the crust.
It's super easy.
I'm like, I just want to buy the crust and,
No.
like, make the rest from scratch.
It's so easy. I'll show you.
Yeah, so we'll see what we do with the pumpkins. I still have to go get more. They're like the perfect size, those little pumpkins.
They are. They're probably like, what, this size? Like a little bit bigger than a grapefruit. Excuse me.
Bigger than a grapefruit, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're perfect size. I always like to paint pumpkins instead of carve pumpkins during Halloween. So they'll be good for that.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us on Get Out and Enjoy Life podcast, or GOEL.
And we hope you get out and enjoy life in whatever way that means to you, whether it's going out to get something to eat like us, or getting out in your neighborhood, seeing a friend, traveling, cooking, whatever it is. We hope that you're able to do that, and we hope you continue to join us.
Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.